Everybody, Goose in the house, Lieutenant Colonel. Good to see you, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sergio, how's it going? I taught all the secret sauce this morning on the morning stream. If you missed it, you gotta go check it out. And welcome to 30 Minutes of Awesome. Welcome. We've got PCE coming up on Friday. We've got the end of August. Holy moly. We're July, August. We're 2/3 of the way done with Q3. September coming in hot. Just a couple days. I mean, this thing, we're burning it down here. We're going to be down to the last quarter of the year before you know it. Holy moly. Hey, Diana, Mary, Kimberly, my favorite subscriber, Sergio, Gary, Jay, Rob, Don, and Lieutenant Colonel in the house. So, I guess without further ado, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instrument, including stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, treasuries. You might lose money if you trade them. And if you need anything, hire and consult a financial advisor. So that's what we got. Hey, Diana. Hey, Mad. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody, as always. So the rules of the game, just to reiterate, channel members, as many requests as you want, but it'll be one at a time when we get there. Yeah, Halloween right away. Yeah. Hey, Thanksgiving. I'm getting ready. You know, fast until then, I guess, maybe. Maybe I'll be half the man I used to be. And so channel members will get as many requests as you want, but one at a time, and please allow others to go. We'll cover that when we get to that portion. If you're just a regular subscriber, we're going to say 3 today. You know, it was getting a little ridiculous there for a little while. Some people were dominating, using it for like 12 and 15. So, you know, 3 is pretty fair. Pick your favorite 3, make your requests, and if I got more time, whatever, I'll stick around. But you know, that's how we'll roll. So, PCE coming up on Friday, right there. So core listed on Forex Factory. We've got all the rest of them on TradingView. Thursday, we get GDP. So that could be, and we'll see what happens here as we come into the end of this month. Now, seasonality wise, things could get spicy. We could see things get really spicy here. And I didn't even plan to pull up a seasonality chart. Let's see if I got one loaded. Locked and loaded where I can pop it up. That is not seasonality. And that is not seasonality. That's interesting. I don't remember what that was. That was a PDF. Oh, it didn't. That was it. Discord said, no, you are not allowed to see it. So let me reload it really quickly. Here we go. Make it bigger. So we're coming into September. And Nasdaq might get a little pop. Might get a little pop right there. And then S&P might get a little pop. I'm not sure what, you know, people are talking about seasonality wise playing out. You know, October, we do see VIX kind of get a little spicy typically. And let me pull, don't have VIX. VIX is probably the one that wasn't loaded. Let me pull that one up. Got him pinned in my handy dandy channel where I send messages to myself. And I talk to myself, you know, it's when you're in a 3-way conversation with yourself, me, myself, and I, and you're losing 2 of them, might be time to quit, right? And so September, we might see a little spike into September and then dip. Now, VIX has been pretty beat down. In fact, we've seen the largest drop off in VIX in history. The largest, fastest drop off in VIX The biggest drop off that's happened the fastest in history. Got to say it the right way. And is that going to preclude some sort of October craziness? We could. We very well could. So this would be interesting to see what happens, right? It's always interesting to me to see what happens. Like there's opportunity every day, waterfall of opportunity. You just got to take, do you take it? Right? That's the question. Do you take the opportunity that is handed in front of you? So high probability trades, that's what I've talked about. So there you go. That's what we got kind of cooking this week. Kind of benign. Heading into tomorrow. Blank. Not really anything tomorrow, but economic news wise, GDP and PCE Thursday, Friday. Then we'll be off to September. Holiday on Monday, in case you didn't know. I'll be talking crypto. I'll be here. I'll be working. At least part of the day. Count on me, baby. Count on me. All right. So typically we cover SPY, QQQ, IWM. You know, we cover futures, Russell, S&P 500, ES, NQ. We cover those in the morning pretty ad nauseum. And lately the feedback I've gotten is that it's a bit repetitive when I cover that on the Tuesday request show for half an hour. So I'm going to just abbreviated review, I guess you might say. We can cover some stuff we don't normally cover, like VIX. You see, we had this giant spike here back in April, and we've pretty much bled it off, even though we've had some little bit of market volatility and freakouts. But this thing may need, this thing may settle back down at 12 before we get the next, this 12, 13 area down here. Right down in here, we may need to go settle in that zone. I said that back here in 2024. We may need a touch in the 12, 13 area before we can spike it again. And then we spiked and spiked. Fireworks begin. We may need to bleed it down again. It's quite possible. Not, doesn't have to happen. Nothing ever has to happen. So just keep that in mind. Delete that indicator, put this one back, turn that one off, and save everything. There we go. So put me back on the other side. Yeah. SVXY. Anytime we get one of those big freakouts, it's an opportunity to buy this sucker right here. And funny enough, look at that. First move down, retrace. Boom. We tagged the bottom right there. Now, we haven't rallied back up on SVXY. We're certainly not anywhere close to the top. These two volatility events were pretty devastating. The one that happened back in July, August, and then this one right here in April. Pretty devastating. We're almost back to where we were. Almost. Close to, no, always count. Almost back up to that one in the 50s. Got a long way to go up to this one at 64. And they did a regular split. 2 for 1 right there in April 24, right before we got the volatility in August. So it kind of muted this thing. We were getting 15 and 20% pullbacks and then quick recoveries. They split it 2 for 1, and then we couldn't recover nearly as fast. So they muted it somehow by doing a split. But if you had bought right at the bottom, could have made a pretty good chunk back. Then it didn't really move, and then we ripped down again, and we've almost come back up. We haven't gotten back up yet, though. It's interesting. Except for this event from August last year through August, through April this year. Every time we did a dip since COVID, we've recovered very quickly. And remember, this is split 2 for 1, so these prices were much higher. That one recovered. 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 All of these, like 15 to 20% pullbacks. recovered very quickly. Even 2022, like even though that was a big grind down, we kept recovering the volatility. The volatility never really spiked in that big pullback in 2022. Couldn't use VIX as a market hedge. Then we got this big flush last summer. Never forget that one. My broker stopped me out on something that would have been highly profitable by the end of the day. Instead, they booked me a $12,000 loss on something that never went in the money. Really frustrating. Would have been full profit by the end of the day. And then didn't recover. It's quite interesting. And VIX, you look at it here, like the event in August actually exceeded this event over here. But they kind of dwarf in comparison to COVID back here. And in 2022, we never got, VIX just never responded. You can see these events. We get these spikes and this is normal to get spikes and quick retraces in the market. Right now, look at what we're doing. Let's clear all this stuff off. There's no real volatility events. There's no, we dropped them. We just got these little bitty. That's certainly not anywhere close to what we were seeing back here. Even before COVID, look at these. It's pretty repeatable. Get a big event, a smaller event, smaller event, smaller event, smaller event, smaller event. Big event, smaller event, smaller event, smaller event. Big event, smaller event, smaller. Then the big mama jamma. Smaller event, smaller event, smaller event, smaller event. And then it starts spreading out a little bit. Got these two big ones here, but I don't know. It's kind of weird. Kind of weird. Love to hear what everybody else thinks. So, VIX maybe suggesting that we have more calm before we get more storm. Could mean grinding higher. Right there. Could mean grinding higher. Now, Bitcoin potentially turning the bottom a little bit today. Nice fat green candle there. Came down. Was that close enough to the roadmap line? Or are we going to have to get on down there? I don't know. We did potentially get the lower low that we needed. That could be close enough. Still cautious because we came up 1,000 points shy, or 1,200 points shy. Ethereum, as long as we hold this zone, that can definitely go higher in a hurry. We have a potential 5 up right there. Retraced to a 618. I went long with some ETHA. Sold some puts on it. Been pretty ripe already. Now, stablecoins are interesting. I put out a video on the Genius Act and how a few people have commented that I didn't know what I was talking about because stablecoins are stable. They're stable by nature. Like they're tied to the dollar. And you don't understand. How can they crash? They're one-to-one tied to the dollar. The dollar can crash, right? Then since the Genius Act made them be tied to treasuries, if treasuries experience a rapid increase in rates, gee, where have we seen a rapid increase in rates before? Well, we did that right back over here. A rapid raise in rates. And this is treasury rates. This is when people don't bid on treasuries. Like if people aren't interested in bidding on treasuries, then the treasury rate goes higher. If everybody's scared and they want to own treasuries, the treasury rate drops out. High competition for buying treasuries causes prices to be lower. U.S. government's happy. Everybody thinks that the Fed sets the rate, but the Fed chases this rate. And how do I know? You just turn on the Fed funds rate. Push this little button here, type in FED, FUNDS. I can spell right. And of course, there it goes. I was gonna say, of course. Trading gear freezes up on me. Now, the market roadmap line has nothing to do with this. Let's turn it off. But there in blue is the real treasury rate with every weekly option or weekly auction, daily auction they do. This up here, that's the rate for the Fed funds. And we're on a percent basis, so let's just turn it to regular. Why is Jerome Powell scared to cut rates? Because of that right there. They cut, and then the treasury rate poked above briefly. And it hasn't broken a lower low yet. It's just hanging out here. Higher lows. Sleeping beast. If it were to jump suddenly, there's, for some reason, a fear of buying treasuries. Fed might have to raise rates to catch it. I mean, look, 2-year treasury took off. Look at that. The 2-year treasury was all the way up here before we did the first rate raise. Why do we have to do the fastest rate raises in history? Because this thing was going exponential, baby. But then it stopped. And they did a couple extra bumps. And maybe they shouldn't have done. Maybe should they just held in here. It's interesting, right? Look what happened every time in the past. We chased rates up, financial crisis. We did it over here. Chase rates up, financial crisis, 2007. Chased rates up, back here, .com bust. Maybe like, well, there were bigger dynamics at play, but chart doesn't lie. We've got the same sort of thing built in right here. What's particularly interesting to me, we held this sideways right there for about 130 bars. We held this sideways right here for about 260 bars. We held this sideways for roughly 76 bars. And we're coming up on, we double 76 bars. 156 bars. Oh, we're really close. Really close. That's double. And that's double. Uh-oh. Warning signs. Eerily similar to COVID. Eerily similar to several other volatility events before. So, scary. I think it's scary. I don't know. What you can let me know what you think. Move. This is the bond volatility index. Now, Bank of America says to watch this. Put an alert at 100. If this starts ripping, this means people are scared. Blowing into bonds. And we might get a bigger down rush in the market and a pop in bonds. Bond market volatility index. Right there. Run by Bank of America. It's an interesting one to keep track of. So, silver. We don't cover that in the morning show usually. Be careful. Now, I saw a bunch of rhetoric about silver and gold were going to break out. This has that look to it, like first move down, A, B, C, retrace. Second move down, potential. Right there. Pull this up to that high. Just be careful. We push through that Probably going to see that. Maybe a bounce around 35. If we do get down to 35, that's the opportunity to add silver for the run to potentially 60 to 70, maybe even 80. Maybe like, no way it's going that high per ounce of silver. Well, it's on the chart. Set to catch up. Usually in the late move of gold and silver, we see silver catch up. Copper got beat down. Golly. We got, what was funny is like Trump said he was going to tariff copper. We did a big giant pop. Trump said he was for sure going to tariff copper. We got a giant rip back down, lower than the pop. That's weird. Was it anything about tariffs, or was it just a reason, an excuse to move copper's price? It's kind of interesting. Now, AI revolution and power, blah, 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 blah. This is not the sign of a bullish chart with these highs and lows and highs and lows and the overlap. And then that one and more overlap. It's not a bullish trend. Right there. You don't get your higher highs and higher lows overlapping when it's a super nice bullish trend. Just not the way price action works. It's a bunch of volatility, slight uptrend, but be careful. Something might hiccup and this might flash down real quick before we can go up again. I got all sorts of stuff on here. Pork and copper and heating oil. Let's talk heating oil briefly. This is diesel fuel, in case you didn't know. Kind of holding the roadmap line pretty well. So while oil itself looks like it might be bearish, heating oil looking like it's holding up a little better. See, this is oil. First move down, retrace. Looks like potential third move down. Right here. This is European oil, but that copied right there. Pushed us to a lower low. That's in the cards. If we break back below these lows right here, I'm pretty bearish on oil. That's the same on CL. I talk about CL every morning, so we'll skip that one. Gasoline futures, giant gap down on the contract rollover. This looks like it might push down. Right there. Despite switching over to winter blend, that's supposed to be more expensive. I don't know. It's kind of wild, right? Kind of wild. Yeah. Kind of wild. Natural gas. Well, pretty much pushed that one to a lower low. Still expecting this maybe to flush on down here. This $2.13 area. Maybe down to $2 even. Right there. We'll see what happens. Now, there's no great way to play. Natural gas is kind of dominated by UNG, which is being absolutely horrible, and Boyle, which are both decaying assets. And you're like, well, what about cold? See, even cold doesn't really go up in the long term either. So they're all decaying, and kind of no great way to play natural gas. I guess the lack of real trend in the natural gas chart just eats all those funds up, because this thing basically goes nowhere in the big picture. Gets occasional spikes, but it's kind of like VIX, right? All the VIX derivatives do the same thing. Like, they get eaten up. Doesn't that look like the natural gas chart, kind of? You look at the VIX futures, same thing. Same thing. Then you look at like VXX, it just gets pummeled. You look at UVXY, just gets pummeled. Down, down, down. reverse split again before long, looks like. Look at that big flush. Whew. That's rough. And then TVIX. Yeah. VIXY. All these just get pummeled. So it's very similar to like how natural gas gets pummeled. So people ask me, they're like, all right, you made like big 6 figures on VIX. How do you play? I just buy VIX straight up. It's not listed on here, but you can buy VIX options. You can't own VIX. Like there's no shares to own. You go out here and you play to like where you think the volatility is going to be. Typically 2 to 3 months out. I usually spend like $1 to buy the options. There's this trader they call 50 cent because notoriously before any of these giant events, notoriously somebody will come in right in here, bunch of 50 cent by massive amounts, like millions of dollars of 50 cent worth calls that are set up here, and they turn into like $10. That's like 20x your money, usually in a couple weeks. It's just absolutely crazy. So that's you have to watch the option chain. Places like Unusual Whales track that kind of stuff, but I mean, I don't know. Something to it, something not to it. Beats me. All right, so we're to that point where we can do requests for a few minutes, and like I said, 1 ticker per person per request, capital letters, a complete ticker that I can type into TradingView. These are the rules. You have to let somebody else go before you can request again. So if you're a channel member and you want to put out like 50 tickers, you got to have somebody else that's willing to put out at least 49, because you got to wait for somebody else to go before you go again. And if you're just a subscriber, your name's in white, you don't have a little star, you get three. So pick your top 3. You get 3. I'm not going to keep track. I'm not going to keep score. But if I notice you're abusing the requests, I'm just going to skip them. And if I hang around to the end and I'm still feeling like doing more, we'll do more. So that's the way it's going to go. And same rules, though. 1 per person per request. Wait for somebody else to go. I'm going to do high-level analysis for the most part. If you got questions about some ticker, please be specific. Don't just say, hey, I like that, because using this, that, these, or those, I don't know what the heck this, that, these, or those is talking about. Just say, I really like the VIX chart, or I really like the Boeing chart, or I really like the whatever chart, if you're going to comment or ask a question, because otherwise, I have no idea what you're talking about, because I'm going to run way behind the chats, because that's what always happens. Uber is pushing out. It's like 104 next upside targets. Beam. Looks like we're in the toilet. We're in the weeds, so to speak. This is it. It's pushing all-time lows. Why would you want to mess with the stock that has potential to go lower than it's ever been before? I got no upside love here. And this files into biotech, pharma, medtech, medical specialties, anything the Food and Drug Administration gets involved in. I even have a special button for it to warn you, don't mess with that stuff. Don't mess with that stuff. It's dangerous. PGY. And we're working on trying to get out of here. Made a move up, made a retrace, made a move up. There's major resistance right here. So first move up, that was 3 waves. Retrace. Next move up. This can continue. If the trend was down, this is a retrace. Trend continuation is down. This can go to 0. Let's see. Let's check. Actually made some money. Losing a bunch of money. Still losing money. Made a little money. Let's see if they can reverse the trend of losing money. Might work. See a reverse split in here. That's on my do not trade list. When a company does a reverse split, it means they're bad at managing a stock. Now, when an ETF does a reverse split, it just means that they probably are set up to decline or whatever. So we see stuff do reverse splits just to stay listed. If it's a stock with a company attached to it, that means they're bad at managing stock price, and I usually don't trade it, because once somebody proves to me that they're bad at managing stock price, they're probably bad at trying to make me money. So I just stay away. QCOM, it's been stuck in this box for months and months, and still in this box. Basically, the upper end of the range is right here. Still in the same place. The lower end of the range is like right here. We took a little diversion out and popped right back in. As long as we're in here, that's the range. Here's the upside, 180. Here's the downside, 130. This $50 range. If we just stay in here, we could be in here for indefinitely. So until it gets out of that range, I have no love for QCOM. Got no love for AD&T. I'm opinionated about my charts. So this has a potential move up, retrace. We held the uprights, held this bounce zone. We can bust out of the downtrend highs. Upside potential. Put us up with a target right around there. Could you buy now? Could. Where would you stop out? I'd probably stop out on a bust back below that 18 zone if I bought now. If we fail now, probably not looking too hot. Maybe like, well, what kind of time frame? Well, you can see how long this took right here. This could take the same or longer to get up in the zone. And it could be with, have a pullback in there. So not the giantest upside opportunity at the moment, but it's not horrible. And next up, hello, Jan Walker, AD&T. That's the one I just did, right? Ah, come on. Should just hit enter. Cool. There it goes. So Costco, looks like the run is done for now. We've got this first move down, got this retrace, got another move down, retrace, another move down, retrace, another move down. Probably gonna bottom right here. Absolutely beautiful correction. If we can hold support right there, that'd be a bottom. If you're trying to buy now, be very, very careful. We can go down another 100 points pretty quickly. Pretty quickly. See, it's been pretty volatile too, so it's I'm not trading it. You can trade it. I'm not trading it. Geospace Technologies. So big picture, it's not really a big trending stock, right? I'm a trend pullback continuation trader. Like, that's all the stuff I've been talking about. I'm looking for stuff that trends with a pullback and a continuation, right? This, I'd be like, well, it looks like we're gonna, like, if you bought this one right after IPO in 1998, you're still sitting at the same place. It's been 10 years, 20 years, almost 30 years later. We're just sitting in the same place, spinning our wheels. Like, that's, I don't want to time my money up on something like that. Could you make a few bucks when it popping back up to the top of the range? You could, if it does. This time it's different. It's changed, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. I just go with stuff that's actually trending. I mean, I have a potentially bullish list. Like, look at this. Look at this one. Chewy, right? Uptrend, pullback, continuation. Got up to high, pull back. What do you expect to do? Uptrend, pullback, continuation. That's what I expected to do. Right? Now, zoom out, look at it. It's been kind of choppy. My target's only right there. It's not like up here. So we finish that move. I'm probably out of it for a while. It's right into this resistance. Could you play the other? I mean, you're rolling back on it. Geos. Slam on your stock. Where are you going to play to? Like, that's one big rip off the lows. It's not really trending in the near term here. The trend is in sideways with a lot of resistance right here. Right where we are. So you got to see it come up, back test, and then prove we're going to go higher. That's the difference between this and like Chewy. All right, Netflix. I cover this most mornings, so stuff I cover in the mornings, just come see me on the morning show. That's the expectation. Absolutely beautiful correction. Right there, nothing's changed in a while. So resistance sitting there, 1265. Support down here at 1065. Big fat range, 200 points. And it's probably not going to say something drastically different between the evening show on Tuesday and the morning show. 150, next upside target on ANETs. Moving on down the list. BZH. Beezer. So we've got a move down. We've got a retrace. We're holding below the 618 right now. You make that an A. We find resistance here. We turn down. That could be a C wave to a lower low. The only requirement for that C wave is to be lower than the bottom of the A. Just circling back on Netflix, you might be like, well, what about Netflix? That didn't like prime examples right here. Grab the A, B, C right there. All the C had to do was go lower than the A. That also helps if it bounces off the roadmap line. That sets up the high probability pattern to go higher. Right there. And Marvell chips. Struggling at the roadmap line. We have that same kind of pattern. Take another spill. Careful out there. Can't you say maybe your own? Circle is probably the bubble pattern, which is probably going back to the bottom of the IPO. Talked about stable coins being inflationary. That was not the thing I was looking for. There it is. It's this thing when we see a lot of hype in the market, we see a lot of euphoria. People talk about they're all gonna be rich, thrilled. They just got to tell everybody they know to buy some more. I saw this on Circle. Can't go wrong. Everybody's gonna be rich, stable coin, blah blah blah. Then we start dropping. And we just need to cool off for the next one. You just keep investing. Like it's gonna be just buy some more, add some more. And then we drop on down. And then people get some anxiety, like, oh man, I thought Circle was a great investment, right? Circle's a great deal. Like they print money. Like how could they have a losing quarter as their first quarter? Like it's a business that Tether prints money. Prints like it's the magic business, right? Oh dang. It just keeps going down. I gotta get out. I'm 100% getting out before I lose all my money. Who keeps selling this thing and making it go lower? How can the government allow this to happen with the Genius Act? Be careful. Be careful. All right. Celsius. I've been bullish on this baby. Thought we'd turn down here, but nope. Keep on rock and roll. Next upside target. Right in this zone. All-time highs. 126 above that. I was out. Come back to the roadmap line. I'll probably might consider getting back in. Nice move up. We're in the upright, so that's the cautionary zone. So could this turn down? Possible. Will it turn down? I don't know. Came up shy hitting the monthly. But if we get the monthly close above the 618 right here, rock and roll, baby. Rock and roll. It's not a bad one. I drink Monster. It's not Celsius. It is, but it's on my bullish list. Potentially bullish. Still potentially bullish. Nike's also on the bullish list. Monthly bounce. A, B, C. Already in place. Potential to bounce and get at the fudge out of here. Then confirm till we're way up here above 110. Upside. Is at redonkulous levels up here. Like 500 to 1,000. Uptrend, pullback, continuation. Big picture. Can you stay in it that long? I don't know. I don't know if you have the wherewithal to stay in it. Daily chart. It's on my potentially bullish list. We're breaking up. We're hitting resistance. May experience a pullback. May drop back into the roadmap line before we can push on higher. Remember that level up here around 110 is what I'm looking for. Let's go. Got to get above that 618. I like it. It's just got to keep going. ECG. So I'm not bearish on everything. I'm just, there's some garbage out there. Just don't trade the garbage. ECG did a pullback. I don't know. Like it's just a trend. There's no real pullbacks to it. So we've only got this much roadmap line. There's no roadmap line over here. There's a little bit of volatility. When you look at this over here, I can't do anything with this. Doesn't mean anything. This low is the only important low. That's one big move up. There's no pullbacks to it. It doesn't tell me much. Like there's not much to work with here. You can be like, well, I thought that's uptrend, a pullback, but the pullback went lower than the IPO. So all that did was reset this to the new low that we work off of. And this, we don't know what the chart was. Was it up here and it came down, or was it down here and it came up? Like, we don't know. Like, was it this one? Or was it this one? I don't know. Like, that was before it was public. So we don't know. So we can't use any of that. So the chart might as well start right there at that low. And there's no pullback. There's just up. So no chance for me to get in. Can I predict something higher? You know, on a 1 hour chart, maybe, possibly, if we get above an 82, we could spike on up to 92, but I don't know. There's not much to it on the higher time frame. ELM. Oh my goodness. ELMD is just downtrending. It's back to that medical specialty junk. GS, not GES. Upside target 757. It's been the target for a while. We popped up here. 717 and 775, 757, 775. Say the numbers in the right order. All right. Cool. Skip to the bottom. All right. And MGB. Stuck on the roadmap line. Still has bias to go down. First move down, second move down, third move down puts us down here. And ROAD. Already hit the target. Watch for retrace. And not really go anywhere. Stuck at the roadmap line. And Shopify. So de minimis, you gotta watch out for this. De minimis kicks in Friday. That's where packages under $100 have not been subject to tariffs and duties. Starting on Friday, that exemption goes away. There are literally millions of packages that come into the United States every day via FedEx, UPS, DHL, USPS that have been exempt from having to collect tariffs and duties that will no longer be exempt starting on Friday. Shopify has a large amount of stuff that comes in to the United States, along with AliExpress and PDD, Temu, and JD. They ship a lot of stuff to the United States through this de minimis thing without the tariffs. That goes away on Friday. Is it going to have detrimental effect on spending on small junk from other places? Another one that could get hit too: Etsy, Baba, PDD, JD, all these Chinese junk companies. So I'd be careful. Careful on that stuff. All right. Inbix and Biotech. Careful. Carvana. Due for retrace back to the roadmap line. And CL. I didn't see Colgate anywhere. But we're under the roadmap line, pushing lower. So we have a move down, a retrace, and a potential further move down. Just to clear it up and demonstrate what we're talking about. Here was the first move down. There was the retrace to the 618. So we're talking about a move down like this. Retrace, and another move down. Using the fib tool, 1 point, 2 point, and 3. Yeah, there you go. 1 point, 2 point, 3 point. Leaves this target right down here. Potential for Colgate on the downside. IBIT is Bitcoin, right? That's right. Talking about Bitcoin potentially making a low, but guess what? Trend, pullback, continuation, pullback. Potential for it to drop right down in here if we see further downside. Like if this bounce doesn't hold, or we're retesting that consolidation right there, we're back testing that. If we don't hold it, next support right there. Fairly simple. That's why the box is here. So if we don't hold that top of the box, bottom of the box, and the roadmap line. If we do hold that, next upside move. Pullback, continuation, 71, 72. I have calls I bought at 64. My cost on them is 62.90. Or not calls. I have shares I bought. I was put shares 64.50. Cost on them down to 62.90, I think it is. Trying to sell upside commitment to sell them at 73. Golly, come on. 73 right there. See what happens. Core weave. Guess what? Well, it goes up. Probably coming down. Cool. Come on. Keep mistyping. Core Scientific. Supposedly Core Weave is going to buy Core Scientific. That was that pop. Now we're just hovering. Hovering. All right. And Tyson. I thought I already hit Tyson. Probably skipped it. Too many in a row before you underwater. Tyson sitting in the roadmap line. Got a gap down resistance. Bounce off support. Resistance right there. This is not very strong until we get out of this funk. Like, we've got this move up potential from the lows there in 22 or 23. 23. That high there in 24. This low back in 25. Might go on a couple year run there. I don't know. CLS. Back to the roadmap line. Be careful. It's an extended upside 252. Downside 133. NPR. So ABC possibly finished. Large gap down. Big resistance. I don't know. Can it break out? If it does, there's the potential upside path. But I like it. I just not sure that we're done yet until we fill this gap right there. All right, circling back up. I'll pick up all the non-channel members. TVTX. Resistance right there. Target up there. So we have a potential A, B, 1, 2. This is like a coin flip. Like, is it gonna repeat the drop here off of that level and get a move down in the single digits, or is this higher low gonna stay intact? We break above the 618 and push on up to 27. Don't have a great answer for that. It's, biotech, biotech pharma, I just stay away. There's other things to make money on. IBM did retrace here. So trend, pullback, continuation, pullback, waiting on the next move. So we got the high, we got the low. Sitting here waiting, unfortunately, we made a big gap down. I hate that. Right there at the entry point. So this could still reject and go lower again. That's the sucky thing here. Looking for that to indicate we're going higher again. Now we've made gap downs before and rejected off of them, and then gapped up. So it's possible that we pull back and then gap up through it and keep going. How long could it take? Yeah, me. Could be a while. Zoom. So we held a higher low. That's good. Zoom out, look a little. Zoom out of zoom. That was the lowest low, so nothing to the left of there matters. All we're looking at, this move up, this retrace. There is potential to climb right to here. At the minimum. Right there. Right around 107, 120. Now, if we can manage to get to 140. opens up the door for going even higher. You can see this took a little while. Probably be that same kind of climb schedule. So we're really looking at early 26, first, second quarter. Unless something gets extra crispy, sparky, extra hot pepper, extra spicy here. Get some hot pepper going. Caliente. Some rocket ship action. Right now, it's on my potentially bullish list, but got some work to do. For Zoom, AVGO, it's been rocking and rolling. And next target up, potentially 363. And TSM, potentially roadmap line. And BMNR, BMNR, Bitminer. So that looks pretty bad, right? Like reverse split for a lot. Another reverse split. Golly, that's a what, a 4,000 to 1. 201 multiplied by 20. That's 4,000. Yeah, I wouldn't touch it. Wouldn't touch it. ALB still on the bottom. Can it be done on the downside? I like this, but it didn't break up. Like, I liked it held higher low. I don't like it didn't go anywhere. But they get up here, stay above the roadmap line, go higher. Emble marble, Abel marble. Have trouble saying that, whatever reason. Still potential that we could go visit down here. If it fails, haven't broken through that downtrend of highs with any enthusiasm yet. In fact, that's probably not quite. There we go. Got to get through that downtrend of highs. Got to break through the last high that we got to contend with is that one right there. We haven't really been back up. Like, this is still downtrend, right? Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Still a downtrend. Be careful chasing downtrends. Doesn't have any. My friend, Mr. Likely, first name scam. All right, PayPal. First move down. Retrace held. First move. Downside potential. Nothing's really changed here in a while. I had a 42 target on this baby for several years. We may get close down there if this gets continuation lower. So be careful. There's the market back open. Futures back chooching. And I thought I did STZ. Constellation Brands. I guess we just talked about that in the profit panel. We're in the target. 618 is a bit lower at 150. If it can pull itself together, hold that 150, bounce back through the roadmap line, back through the downtrend of highs at 220. That would look up. How high up? Potentially up here at 400. But we're not done on the downside yet. We haven't hit the bottom yet. We're in the zone, but if you buy now, can you hold on for 150 or possibly 140? Or do you stop out down at 120? We haven't proven we're in any kind of bottom yet. I want to buy the bottom. Fortunately, the bottom can go make a lower low, void the whole pattern of bullishness if we broke down and go down to 90. So do they have their stuff together, or are we gonna see a further erosion down there? I don't know. Let's see. Bank of America thinks 150 reality. Move over, butter. I am long MUU. I'm optimistic. We get this pop. Once you pop, you can't stop. Got to get through there. Got to get on up there. We have a nice potential pattern. 1, 2, 3, already in place with a reversal. We went a little deeper than I wanted to see. Unfortunately, that's the only kicker on this pattern we've got cooking here. Potentially bullish, but we went a little deep. This put its foot across the line, said I dare ya, and then reversed strongly. So we need some of that continuation boom action. Get up in the 220, 200, 220, possibly 270. Right there for MU. BTBT is just not playing. We're just sitting. So we saw Mora being kind of bullish today a little bit in the face of Bitcoin potentially bottoming. We saw Riot continuing to try to push through resistance. And Mara holding up really good. Look at Riot actually performing, getting the gap filled, doing the things, getting the close above the 618. 16, 17 starts being in the cards for Riot. Mara sitting on the roadmap line, and BTBT just sit on the roadmap line. So not doing anything. I have a hard time being enthusiastic about things that just aren't moving. I would love to tell you, just wait it out, but you be waiting it out for 20 years and it never move again. DHI. So this downtrend or uptrend of lows, stemming back their ways. We broke down below it, back tested it, flushed on down. If we can come up and break through that, take us on higher, but it's gonna be pushing really close to getting new all-time highs. So is that a bottom? Looks very similar to what we did right back here. So, and we did that little bitty pop. So if we get a pullback after getting close to the all-time high, might be your opportunity, but it also could break down and go way down here. I don't know. I don't have a magic ball on this one. You know, it does look like an uptrend pullback continuation, especially on the monthly. Didn't quite get to anything that mattered. Like back here, we touched the weekly. That was a weekly bounce, basically. We cleared, so you could go long here. Could take 45 weeks on average to get there, plus 3 standard deviations, which is 35, 35, 35. Sum that up, that's 150. Boom. Could take 150 weeks. Could take 3 years to get from here to here. Could go faster. Could take 3 years. 52 weeks in a year, you know. First solar. It looks like we hit the targets and we're retracing back to support 170. Not really going anywhere. Got chilling. It's trended a bit and then sat sideways, and then trended a little bit and sit sideways. It could sit sideways for a while. That was like 2 years of sideways after a little bit of trend. All right. AMZ. Is hunting the bottom here. Looking for a retrace back to the roadmap line or a 618 potentially. And Rocket Lab. There. Rocket Lab has bullish potential, but kind of elevated without a deeper retrace. Yeah, I like this one. I actually started selling puts on it right here. Got put right there. And I sold it out at 41 when it spiked to 40, when it spiked to 51 or whatever. And I made like 12 grand. In case anybody missed that, it's all posted publicly right here. That's cool. Did it log me out? It did. I'm not clicking the login button publicly. So it will show my personal information. And it just did. I knew that was going to happen. There we go. Go to trades. They're all posted here. You may have to pay and join, but see right here, I rolled down a little bit. We did, see, I started in June. Yeah. Where did I get put those? Put options. Put options. Start in May. Yeah, May. Put option. Rolling on back. Put option. I think that was the beginning. Yeah. So we started right here. Sold a put, made 200 bucks. Sold a put, made 140 bucks. Sold a put, made 200 bucks. Sold another put, made 98 bucks. Sold another put, made 200 bucks. Sold another put, made 200 bucks. And that's where I got put the shares. I got put shares right there. So I turned around and sold a call option. Made 200 bucks. Sold another call option. Brought in money, but I closed it at a loss and rolled it into this one for 700 bucks profit right there. So there was bigger potential to roll it. Like I accepted the $189 loss so I could book this $700 win plus the upside on the shares, $10,000 right there. All that adds together to make like $12,000. Now you'd be like, well, how much is this account even up? That much. Almost $24,000. Year to date, 24.4 all time. The account was negative all time, so I refunded it tax day about 4 months ago. And started on this challenge. Now this is what I call my 50K challenge right here. Now, why am I not chasing Rocket Lab anymore? Because I don't see big upside potential right now at those levels. What am I in? You can see right here. I'm selling puts on Gap every week. Bullish on Gap. That, played earnings. I got some IBIT. Got DJT. I got shares of that, shares of that. When I'm selling calls, I got shares of it. So I can tell. Got calls on Chewy. So I got shares of Chewy. I got shares of Docu. So I got put Docu, Chewy, IBIT, DJT, CMG, I got put right there. Haven't sold any calls because it's slightly underwater and there's not premium to sell. And Chewy, I got put, I think, right there. Turn around and sold. You're like, oh, that's a weak sauce call option. Yeah, but the call option I got sold for the next one, I might get called out and make another 3 or 4 grand on that one. So that's why I play the bullish stuff right there. What's that loss? It's fix. Right down. Yeah, it was. See, look at the these two are funny. Like $0 and $0. I got put those shares and I sold a call for the same price as I bought them for, and it marked it as loss. I don't know if that's a loss. I think it's just a scratch, but whatever. And this was VIX protection. Like I started out talking about buying VIX out a couple months, and there you go. So there you go. All right, it's Rocket Lab for you. And Tilray. You know what's funny? They're talking about legalizing weed, and all sorts of people talking about how it's good for Tilray. Tilray doesn't have a single bit of sales in the United States. They don't have any exposure to the U.S. market. They completely sell in Canada. So how would any deregulation here help Tilray? It's going to be a huge cost to get into the U.S. market. It's a giant downtrend. Be careful messing with this. Yeah, that one looks pretty bad too. Canopy growth. I'd definitely be careful. One of those you gotta be careful. Mess with that. Do you do simple call and put options? It's simple. Like it's not long calls. It's short options. And you can go look at it. I mean, it's all here publicly. It's on KInfo. There's the link. kinfo.com/p/Jeffry. What did you do on Gap? On the 14th, on the 14th, I sold 9 for 31 cents. And not on the 14th, but it shows the 14th. On the 14th, a couple minutes later, I put an order on to close it for a penny, which filled on the 20th, right around the 22nd, 21st or 22nd. It doesn't tell me the fill time, oddly enough. I put a limit order on for a penny, and it comes in as being the 14th, but it wasn't the 14th. That was last Friday. Week before that, on the 11th, sold 12, 15 cents, bottom back, 13th, penny. Cha-ching. Got them sold again this week. Have to look it up. Let's see. I just pull it up. My Robinhood account won't let me log in on this computer, so I'll have to pull it up. If you're looking for crude, I see crude. Apologize. Morning show. I talk about crude every day. Crude every day. Set up a monthly bonus. I'll have to circle back to that. Let's see. Gap. I sold an 18 put because earnings this week. Got paid. Yeah, click the bell icon. Find Gap. I got paid $24.24 a contract for 18 strike. Go look at the chart. Gap. Switch to the daily chart. So look at I sold 18 strike right there. For this Friday, for $24 per contract, times 11 contracts. Boom. Go do the math on that. 24 times 11. It's $264. And as long as price is above 18, I'm probably not going to get put those shares. Whoa, what about earnings? I'm kind of bullish on this chart. So even if it dips down here, I'm gonna ride this baby up. Fairly bullish for now. There you go. That's how it works. All right, I'll be back. Same bad time, same bad channel as always. Every in the mornings, 9:15. We'll do it all over again. Hunt for what's moving. Come see me. Come hang out. Love to have you. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell with notifications. Set your alarm in your phone. Come watch me in the Morning Monster. See you in the morning. Be careful out there.